Here's a wild fact. Franz Kafka, one of the most influential European writers of the 20th century, burned most of his work because he thought it wasn't good enough. If not for his best friend, who decided to publish his remaining works after his death, we wouldn't even have seen the remaining 20% of his creations. And those remaining 20%, by the way, are considered to be masterpieces in the world of literature. It sounds extreme, but if you're an artist, you might know that feeling. I have felt it so many times. I once made about 50 demos in 6 months, finished only 4, and liked just 1. I'm Den Milli, a music producer with over 10 years of experience in music, and I think I have found a workaround to deal with it. In this video, I'm going to share with you a simple rule that has helped me to get over it. I also want to share some examples of how other musicians, artists deal with perfectionism, and also I'll show you some works of famous artists that became legendary literally because of how rough and non-perfect they were. So here's how I cracked it. Let's start with what perfectionism really is. That itch to make every beat, every note, every lyric absolutely flawless. I used to think it was actually my strength. Back in the day, I would tell myself, if it's not perfect, it's not worth it. Who doesn't want their music to be incredible? Perfect. But here's the twist. That mindset can quietly choke you. Take Franz Kafka. He was so obsessed with perfection that he burned 80% of his writing, 80% of what he has created throughout life. Picture the masterpieces we will never know. Now look at your own hard drive. See how many tracks you started with fire in your chest, only to abandon them because they didn't match some imaginary standard in your head. Perfectionism doesn't just slow you down, it completely destroys your creativity. It makes you feel like you are miserable artist, like you are talentless, that something is wrong with you or your skills, that you are not enough, and the list just goes on. As I said, I have been there myself. I had hundreds of songs, beats, drafts, ideas that never got finished. I would start with excitement, spend hours on a track, then just listen to it the next day and be like, I don't feel it. I would tell myself, I can make something better than this. It was a trap that I couldn't get out of until I made a simple rule. Finishing a track is more important than having a perfect one. No more unfinished ideas sitting around. When I start working on a song or an idea, my main goal is simply to finish it, not make it perfect. Recently, something interesting happened. Back in 2020, I made a whole catalog of music for sync licensing that I never released because I didn't feel it, classic. And 2 months ago, I was in a call with a publisher of an artist who I work with, and they asked if I have some music they could check out for some possible representation. So I sent all of those tracks that I made back in 2020 that I thought are complete trash, and they gave me such an incredibly positive feedback about those tracks that I was literally shocked. I was like, the tracks that the world would probably never hear because they did not fulfill my imaginary standards ended up actually being pretty great. They got signed by a publisher, and eventually they may be making some decent money in the future. This situation showed me what an idiot I actually was just to let my creations collect dust. Take Rick Rubin, a legendary producer who has worked with top artists since the 90s. One of my biggest inspirations. He never intends to make a song perfect. Instead, he intends to get the right feeling for the song. A feeling is one of the core messages that you deliver through your music. He has shaped music across pop, rap, metal, rock, so many different genres, and he knows that the song is about the emotion, the feeling, the vibe, not a particular hi-hat pattern you are using or some revolutionary synth sound design, some specific vocal harmonies you are trying to create. Listen, a regular music listener doesn't judge tiny mistakes. He or she is paying attention to the feeling. And that what truly lasts. Because having something that is not perfect is what actually makes your work authentic. This is something you have to remember. All right, here are a few steps to help you out with your writing process. 4 super simple tips. This is not gonna take long. Number 1, don't try everything at once. One day, make an idea you like. Next day, finish its shape, the arrangement, whatever. Then mix it the last day. It just keeps you focused. Number 2, love what you do. If it's not fun, take a break. Creating should feel good, not painful. Number 3, let go of perfect. Salvador Dali said, "Don't fear perfection, you'll never reach it." That is freedom. Your music can matter without being flawless. Last one, number 4, get another opinion. Show your track to someone, a friend, an online group, anyone. Fresh ears can help you see the good and the bad. No one to share it with? I got you. Send it to me. I'm always open to listen to new artists and give feedback. All right, so finally, I want to give you some examples of works that were never actually intended to be perfect, although they became legendary. Let's take the song that everyone knows, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Kurt Cobain wrote it in just a few minutes, sitting in his apartment, messing around with his guitar. He wasn't trying to create a masterpiece. He actually even said that it started as a joke to poke fun at cheesy pop songs. But when they recorded it, that raw energy exploded. It wasn't polished or overthought, yet it became a legendary song, a song that defined a whole generation. Then there's Salvador Dali's painting with the melting clocks, called The Persistence of Memory. He didn't spend months planning it. One night, after dinner, he was staring at some soft cheese melting on his table. That sparked an idea. In just a few hours, he painted those droopy clocks on a tiny canvas. Last example, think about Rocky movie. Sylvester Stallone wrote the script in 3 days after watching a boxing match that got him fired up. He wasn't a big writer back then. He was just a no-name actor with a small apartment and a very tight budget. The story was pretty rough, full of heart, not some flawless script. But he pushed it through, and eventually it won an Oscar for Best Picture and launched his whole career. That messy, real energy connected with millions. If there's any lesson we can take from here, it's that the definition of perfect is an illusion. It literally is. Perfect does not exist. This is what I always tell artists who I'm producing for. You have to get rid of that annoying little sitting inside you all the time telling you that it's not good enough. Forget it. One last thing I wanted to mention. Perfectionism is a constant fight, and you can win it. I'm most likely dealing with this right now while editing this video, so I get it. Don't let your work vanish like Kafka did. Keep making music, even if it's not perfect, especially if it's not perfect. I spent 10 years building tracks and helping artists to turn their ideas into something special. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Every single creator has this constant internal battle. However, if you're completely stuck, like in this case, and you need someone to help you get over it and help you get that feeling right for your songs, that's where I specialize. A small self-promo. I'm currently in search of 2 new projects to start this month with 2 new artists. So if you want to know more, complete a form on my website or find me on Instagram. That's all in the description, all the links. And let's book a call. Let's get to know each other. I want to help you create something timeless. I want you to get there. You got it. I'll see you soon.